Yo, what's up, guys? It's Chase. I'm gonna do another episode of the Daily Creative. We're gonna do it like lickety split. Remember, this is a show where I answer your questions on your journey of becoming a professional creative or just a hobbyist. That's cool too. You can learn. But it's on my YouTube channel here and at CreativeLive. It's a community of people who've been creating or aspiring to create an awesome life and a living doing what they love. If you want your question answered, 802-962-4357. The first question, we're going to hear from Brian. 3, 2, 1. Brian left a voicemail.
Hey Chase, my name is Brian Vogel. I'm a professional commercial photographer out of Houston. I'm right about mid-level and I'm trying to advance. So I'm looking for help on trying to figure out ways to grow my current client base, things such as mailers and things like that, or whatever might be better. And I'm also trying to figure out better ways to understand my pricing scheme, my cost of doing business versus the market cost and things like that. So any information would help. Once again, my name is Brian Vogel. My website is brianvogel.photography.
Okay.
And you can check me out on Instagram at behind_BVP. Thanks a lot.
All right. Cool, Brian. Thanks a lot for the question. Middle tier photographer or middle time in the middle time of your career and you're trying to grow. I get that. There's a lot of things. That's a huge question. What can I do to grow my business? Should I do mailers? Should I do this? Yes is basically the answer to everything. And I don't want you, it's sort of yes and, to paraphrase my friend Glennon Doyle, who's about to be on Chase Jarvis Live here on Creative Live. You should watch out for that episode. It's coming soon. But you have to do a lot of things, and you have to try things and find out what works for you. And then there's a couple things that I'm going to say you shouldn't do. So I'll go through just a couple of things. One is, are you focused on your you're great at your craft, and is the creative gap 0 or close to 0? And the creative gap, just to remind you, that's Ira Glass's way of saying, can the picture that you see in your mind be the one that you make? Let's assume that you worked on your craft and you're a working professional or on your way there, and you want to grow your business. You have to figure out some of your costs. You have to know what you're spending on rent and your camera gear and all that stuff. And that's like you got to know what you're spending, and then charge accordingly. Also, you're triangulating that number. You're like, here's my rent, here's my this, here's my this. So I have to shoot, and say that number, your monthly nut is like $3,000 a month, and you want to make money above and beyond that. So you want to make $5,000 a month. And if you shoot 1,000, if your average shoot is $1,000, then you need to shoot 5 times a month, plus taxes, plus medical insurance, plus you got to build all those costs in there. So you need to make more money than you think. And I see a lot of freelancers at the end of the year, they're going like, oh my God, wait a minute, I didn't calculate taxes. Now I owe the state government this, and I owe oh my God. And then they have this huge tax bill and they blow up. So see a professional if you don't understand this stuff, or check out this book here, the Business Guide, the Best Practices, ASMP Guide to Business Practices in Photography. The ASMP is a trade organization. They have a lot of information there. ASMP.org. Go check them out. I don't think they're moving as fast as I'd like to see them move, because the industry and technology and stuff is moving faster than those books and their guides, but a lot of good base information about how to deconstruct your expenses and find out what you should charge. Also, you should be triangulating that number, whatever you think you should charge, with whatever you think you should get. Don't just automatically put yourself as the $200 an hour designer or the $5,000 wedding photographer or the, fill in the blank. You should be charging, it's art. You should be charging what you can get someone to pay you. And once you get 1 or 2 or 3 people to pay you, that becomes your rate. And then if you stay busy, raise your rates. I mean, it's that simple. So, and by and large, if you just look at what you need to survive, you're going to pigeonhole yourself unintentionally in a crappy place. How about be really intentional, placing yourself in the market? What kind of a product, a premium experience do you want to create? Maybe it's not premium. Maybe you want to be a very cheap, high volume wedding photographer, or a high volume student senior portrait photographer, or there's all kinds of classes on CreativeLive. The point is, you should build a business around the thing that you love. Wasn't this was just in another episode recently?
Like every other one.
Yeah, like every other episode. What do you love, and then build a business that's focused on that and maximizing your desire, your joy, your play, and your revenue, okay? That's really important. As far as tactics about how you grow your business, well, first of all, you need to know that side of it. Second of all, like marketing, where do you want your work to end up? If you got this and this and this, that would allow you to 10x your work or get in front of more clients or whatever. Be very specific about what you want and then hunt that thing. I want to be in these 10 magazines. I want to shoot for these 5 clients. Deconstruct who's getting hired by those people, where the photos are, who's making the choices of what images are going to end up in the Nat Geo, the outdoor episode or outdoor issue or whatever, and get your work in front of those photo editors. They have names, they're humans, they are on Instagram. How can you get yourself in front of them meaningfully, not spammy and crappily? It's for you to figure out how to do that. But be direct, be overt, shoot stuff that is similar to the things that they've done in the past with a little twist. Of course, that has to come through your personal filter. This is not rocket science. I also want you to go back and to be fair, you could have asked this question a while, but there's like, we're about episode 40 something or 50 here. Like go back and watch like 10 episodes because this question has been answered and there's a lot of like peripheral questions that would help you out if you want to grow your business. So what was the other part of his question? He said something about like, whatever might be better, like, pricing scheme. Again, I think you should see what I said earlier about pricing scheme. What's most important about all this is that you do it with intention. A lot of photographers I know, they just like start taking pictures and they bump into one thing, and that's fine. But if you are aware of these things and still just like bumping into stuff and you're like a cork in the tide floating around, why not be intentional? Decide, look at people that are doing the things you want to do, deconstruct their lives, look at like photography programs, or look at designers that you love and the clients that hire them, and deconstruct how they hire designers and then go after it. Okay?
You have a CJ Live too podcast.
Yes, there's a whole. Oh, that's right. There's a whole CJ Live podcast. If you're not subscribed, if you're watching this right now and you're not subscribed to my podcast, go to itunes.com/ChaseJarvis or ChaseJarvis.com/podcast. Is it up on CreativeLive yet? CreativeLive.com/podcast.
Yes,
Is it?
it is.
CreativeLive.com/podcast. Go there and subscribe on a platform of your choice. It's on iTunes and Spotify. I just had a whole like 20-minute rant about this stuff. And again, it comes up pretty regularly. I do these little micro shows in between the bigger interviews. So, Brian Vogel, that's your answer. Thanks for writing in, or calling in rather. I hope you found some value. And I'm gonna go into question 2 now. All right. This is Jeff. All right. Where you at, Jeff? And 3, 2, 1, let's hear from Jeff.
Hi, Chase. My name is Jeff. I'll try to keep this brief, but it's a bit detailed.
Uh-oh.
I'm almost 40. Ever since I was a kid, I've really been interested in film. Developed my working career completely removed from that. I'm in software.
Okay.
Day to day, not filling my job, but I'm making a decent amount of money.
Yep.
I have all the gear that I would need, I would think, to be, again, doing film, shooting, directing it, getting my ideas out there.
Okay.
But I'm paralyzed. And I don't know what is paralyzing me from making that step. If it's fear, I'm afraid that I have this idea, and because I'm a one-man show, when I try to shoot it, the cinematography is going to be off, the editing is going to be off,
Yep.
the script's going to be bad.
Yep.
I don't know.
Yep.
Something is stomping me, and it kills me week in and week out.
Yep.
That I'm not moving closer to that goal of trying to do something like directing and film.
Thank you for
Do you
sharing.
have any ideas that you can send my way to overcome this obstacle and to truly start following what I know is my passion, as much as I might try to hide it?
Great.
Thanks,
Thank
Chase.
you
I
very
appreciate
much,
it, brother.
Jeff.
Bye.
You have a disease, and this is a disease that a lot of people have, which is they have all of the stuff around them. It's all tidy. I went and got the right cameras. I wrote the script. It's right here. It's like stacked nicely on the table. Here's the camera. There's my friends who are making films. I know I can make great films. I really understand. I've studied cinema. It's great. I'm just okay. Is there anything else I can buy? Is there anything else I can do to avoid doing the actual shit? Okay? I understand this is a syndrome. It is should we name this syndrome? It's like fear of failure, fear of success, avoidance. It is like
Not actually doing
what I think you love is the idea. Okay? And what I want you to do is find out if you actually love the thing. Because right now you love the idea of filmmaking. You've romanticized that you put on your beret and you smoke the cigarette and you talk about film and you get it. I think you've romanticized the concept because the filmmakers that I knew, they're so busy making films that they've got like 10 edits they need to do. They're behind in editing, they're shooting, and this one's in this part of this kind of mode of development. This one's got a script going, and that's people who love the process. If you don't love the process, you need to think about doing something different. And you need to judge it for yourself if what you really love is the concept of making films and being a creator. I also think that if it's about following your real passion, but you have a job, I get it. But if you really want to do the thing, how little can you work in your job, and how can you spend all of your extra time doing the thing that you say that you love? Until you've done a thing until you've made a film, stop saying that you love making films. Okay? I'm a super positive visualization person. But it should be a thing to just make something. And this is like, I'm going to switch now from sort of like naming the challenge, because I think you're aware of it, which is cool, and that you're self-aware enough to ask this question. I want you to know that I really value that. But here's the anecdote. This is the fix: is make something. Make one thing in one day with the shit that you got. With this, make a film in a day with your phone, and publish it. I dare you. Send it to me. Okay? Do it. I'm waiting for you to send me a film and leave me another voicemail. Maybe I'll call you back and I'll ask you what the process of making a film was like. Did you like it? Did you hate it? How did you feel when you were going through it? Because if you love something, you love the process of it. Sometimes it can become painful. The project, I love this, it's great. Oh my God, it's horrible. I'm horrible. This is never going to work out. Okay, great. Oh, and then you see it in on YouTube, wherever you put it out. So there's a little journey, but you have to start doing something. Otherwise, you're not the thing. Okay? And I want you to explore. And I'm not saying that you need to be a filmmaker. You're saying you need to be a filmmaker. Maybe you want to be a designer or a photographer or a dancer. Like, I'm not projecting but you need to experiment doing the actual thing and figure it out, because you need to fall in love with the process of making a film. Casey Neistat makes a film every day, every single day, every day, 10, 12, 15-minute film. Okay? Try it. Just do something, and I would try and do it 5 days in a row. Try and do 5 days in a row. And it sounds like you got a job. How much do you like that job? Or do you like the money from that job and what it gives you security? And then you use the excuse of having a job to not do the thing that you really love, but it's just out there. Start taking steps. I think there's these are blocks, they're not uncommon. I think Tony Robbins does a great job of helping people get unstuck. I think taking massive action is a very powerful concept of, Mel Robbins, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, just go do it. You have to act. Like, thoughts without actions are basically, the world is measured in actions. And a little bit of intent, of course, but do something. All right, Jeff, thank you for sharing. It's a thing that we've all had to get over at different parts of our life. For you, it's around photography or making films, rather. For me, it might be something else, but you have to start. Start small, but start. All right. Thanks again for sharing this. I hope you've enjoyed this particular episode and the series. Again, I'm trying not to duplicate questions. Every once in a while, there's a little overlap because we all have a lot of the same questions. But you can get questions. It's not just about having your question answered. There's 50 episodes with 2 or 3 or 1 or 2 or 3 questions each. So we've all, somewhere in there, 50 or 100, more than 100 questions probably. Go check it out. Contribute, comment. I'm trying to be on those things like white on rice. I'm trying to get there just back at you as much as I can, and I hope you get value. 802-962-4357 if you have questions. I will get back to you. Bye.